What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld, and as we spoke about in previous videos, we're going to be doing some experimentation. Now, remember, this has been going on for a while. It's nothing new. It's just the fact that EA Sports has now started to penalize us for putting players that are out of position into other positions. Now, if you guys don't understand what that means, try putting players that are left outside linebackers at DN and then seeing how they rush and do things as opposed to if they're at their natural position. Now, there could be many different reasons for this, probably because, you know, with salary cap, a lot of people try to exploit putting faster players at different positions because it's more advantageous. So, for instance, EA Sports did stuff like, if you put a wide receiver at running back, they would be more likely to fumble. It's like weird stuff like that. But what we were talking about was pretty much like guys that had a decent amount of, you know, press and, you know, able to be sort of a corner, but not really be a corner, but give us benefits at that position. So what does that mean? Right now we're looking at Sean Taylor and Taylor Mays, who is going to be the experiment in this video. Okay, so when you look at the block shedding, you can see Taylor Mays is out of control with the 94, the block shedding on Sean Taylor 84. That doesn't really make a lot of sense because if you go back to other years of Madden with Sean Taylor, he was usually able to get out of my way relatively easy. There's a lot of things that went on with his card that I just don't really understand what they were doing when they were making those attributes, because like with the power moves for Taylor Mays being higher than his, but then the finesse moves on his being higher than Taylor Mays, but then the impact blocking is so extreme on Taylor Mays. Like, I don't really understand the mechanics behind it, but that's not what it's about. What it's about is when we put them at the corner position, we're not going to have as much issue with the running game. Okay, so what does that mean? That means simply this, right? If they're running the ball every snap, now not only does your D-line, you know, have a chance to get after that running back, but now you got guys with 99 hit power and also the ability to be able to get off of a block instantly. Okay, so that is huge. Now, when we look at the press rating, a lot of you guys are like, yeah, but Gmi, you could always put him in zone. It doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it actually does, and I'm going to tell you why. When you get a psycho, right, that's running plays like, say for instance, a guy comes out and he's running strong close, right? That basic play of the outs, when you have your corners that are in blues, but you have them shaded to the outside, you're kind of at a disadvantage if you can't really slow the route down. So what I like to do is I'll man up, you know, one of those guys and let the guy guess each time. Like, you don't have to man up both, but man up one, because you want to take away the instant read. And pretty much if you get a psychopath that wants to roll out and throw a corner route, that can be going on all game because you can primarily block 8, you know, out of the strong close and just do whatever you want. So with that being one of the major issues, you can really start to hurt yourself if you don't have somebody that has decent press. So when we look at that press rating, it's 100% a reason for that. Now we're going to see if that 80 something really makes that big of a difference. That's what it's going to be, because if they can give me a little bit of press time, that's all we really need. Now, some of you other guys were saying, you know, Gmi, what about the weight? You know, Taylor Mays is pretty big, strong. You know, he should be able to kind of hold him even with the lower press rating. That's a yes and a no, kind of. I'm going to explain to you guys why, right? Sometimes the ratings overtake the archetype. Now, you're probably like, yo, what are you talking about? What do you mean the ratings overtake the archetype? For instance, when we had Alan Page running around like an idiot, that dude is 210 pounds. And some plays he would just throw and maul a center and run in and sack the quarterback. Then other plays he would be a non-factor. The game is very random in certain aspects, but what we try to look for is consistency. That's why when we find something, it's like, wow, this really works. And then we got to keep trying to make it go on until EA patches it. Fortunately for us, it's towards the end of the year where EA is done with all the patches. So if we find something going forward, it's probably going to last us until Madden 21. So if this works out, let me explain to you guys why it's important. This gives us a way to kind of utilize all of these safeties and have them be out there stronger, bigger, crazy hit power all the time, as opposed to just having miscellaneous players and not having anything to do with them. So what we're going to do right now is jump into a game and check it out and see what's going on and kind of look at the way that these guys are playing, what, you know, how they're playing it, what they're doing, and seeing if it makes a difference, because that's pretty much what you guys look for. What are we going to be doing right now, and how does that compare to what's going to be happening in Madden 21? Well, I think they're going to keep everything along the same lines. The one thing that I will tell you, and it's almost a guarantee, is that the PS5 and the new Xbox, that Madden 21 is going to play completely different from Xbox One and PS4. So whatever we do on right now, this current gen right now, will not apply in most cases. And we can go back to Madden 25, guys. You remember the one with Adrian Peterson on the cover? Let me tell you something. Completely different game when it jumped to the next gen. Just so that you guys are aware of that, all right? So right now what we're doing is just trying to gear ourselves up, understand some of the formalities, understand some of the abilities. What are these things going to do for us? Is it worth it for us to kind of, you know, feed into some of the things that are going on right now? So what we're going to be doing at this point is putting in the safeties at the cornerback position. Sean Taylor, and we're going to be putting Taylor Mays in. Now, guys, when you try this, understand, like I told you, the press rating is very, very important to understand. If you decide to man somebody up and press, you're going to have to deal with the fact that it is kind of a huge chance that the receiver or the tight end is going to get the animation to throw them into the locker room. Like, just throw them right outside the way, bro. I'm just letting you guys understand that. So now, first play of the game, right? Look at Sean Taylor. That's him versus a tight end. That looks like George Kittle, number 85, right? So typically speaking, what happens is when you get a guy that doesn't have any type of block shed or anything like that, the blocker usually takes them inside. If you look at the way Sean Taylor is geared up right now, he has outside leverage. That's a good thing because I wanted to see how he would react in the blocking, the blocking scenarios. Obviously, Troy Polamalu, aka Head and Shoulders, is shooting the gap and about to take care of business right now. But I want you guys to see. You see how he throws him to the ground at the last minute, and he's able to keep that outside leverage. That's huge. Okay, now this side right here, he's throwing a baby out route, and I have Taylor Mays in a. I hot routed him to a regular deep blue zone, maybe the outside blue zone. The break on the ball is very, very similar to other corners that also have 99 zone. I just want to point this out so you guys can understand what's going on, because this is how I break it down. This is how I break down my tape, and I'm able to create defenses and other schemes that work. His break on the ball right there, that's beautiful because he's 99 speed, 99 excel. So I know for a fact if I need him to play certain zones, he'll be there. Right there, you saw that little press that he did? That little press was very, very weak, but it was just enough for him to hold off so that we can get an incomplete pass. But you see how fast he got off the press? That's the difference between, having 95 and 90s and all that stuff and above to having an 83, 84 press, right? So now he's going to go ahead, he's going to audible the bunch. This is going to be a huge thing that I want you guys to pay attention to. The right side, because I moved my corner, he stayed there. Look at Sean Taylor. Now he's just over there running around by himself, like doing whatever he wants, right? As soon as the ball is thrown, his break on the ball is outrageous. So he's pretty much a guy that we can have play corner, with the exception of the fact that you cannot press unless you have safety help over the top. Will you get a certain animation sometimes? Yes, you will, but it will not be often. I promise you that, because EA will give you a penalty for playing him out of position. That break on the ball is insane, and I know a lot of you guys are like, wow, how did he do that? Well, that's pretty much because of the way that his card is designed. He's very, very agile, and he moves a lot differently, especially better than Jalen Ramsey. Just so you guys are aware, Jalen Ramsey would have never made that play, because for some reason they still have him stiff, even though he has the higher agility, which doesn't make any sense at all. But it goes back to his 88 core card when the game first came out. Was 88, 89, whatever that was, his core card, that was the biggest thing. He was a good card, but he wasn't agile. These guys are like cats, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ready to go. So this guy, he doesn't like the fact that I hurdled, but we don't need him anymore. So with him going to rage quit right now as we go ahead to set up and run into his mom's, that doesn't matter because we got our point across. We were able to successfully see. As far as the corner per se, these guys play better than I actually anticipated. So because I know now that they'll play zone like that and their break on the ball is so huge, now we can set it up so that they always play corner for us. Now to the next thing. We're going to have to figure out a couple more things because Warren Sapp, I took the abilities off of him and we put it back onto Jadeveon Clowney, but we're still going to keep Warren Sapp at the D-tackle position for the most part. Will we adjust and just say, you know what, bro? We're just going to go ahead and just give it up to Myles Garrett, because that dude, Myles Garrett is just an outright goonie. Some of you guys have been bringing up Simeon Rice. We probably could dabble with that and see what's going on as far as that goes, but I think that Myles Garrett is probably the safest D-tackle because of the strength and everything else that he brings to the table. So it is what it is, guys. Check it out. Do the experiment. Let me know how it fares for you. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. You continue to be safe. Until next time. One love, y'all.